We are going through question 13 of exercise 18E. Previously we went through A, B and C, and in this video we're going to go through D and E. So let's give question D a bit of a read here. What does it say? It says, if x is an element of 0 to 0.8, find the absolute maximum value of v and the value of x for which this occurs. So how does this differ from what we've previously done? Well, if we compare it to C, C said find the local max for the graph of v against x for, and as you can see here, I have a different domain. It's between 0 and 1.25, but I'm still finding the maximum. So the only difference with D is the fact that I have a different domain, and that's going to affect what my maximum is going to be. So let's deal with that. So again, I want to visualize what I'm doing. So I'm literally going to come over here and steal my graph. So I'm going to steal the graph like that. I'm going to go Control C, and I'm going to bring that down to over here. So just a bit of theft. Perfect. Now, we have to deal with the fact that I'm no longer dealing with a domain between 0 and 5/4, which is 1.25. Rather, I'm dealing with a domain of 0 to 0.8. Now, I don't like thinking of my domain in terms of decimals. I just don't like decimals. So I'm going to turn that into a fraction. 0.8 is the same thing as 4/5. So with that information, I now need to figure out where 4/5 is on my x-axis here. Where is it in relation to these other numbers? Well, I know that I have 5/6 here, so this right here is 5/6. And what I know is that 4/5 is less than 5/6. So that means that 4/5 is going to exist here. This is where 4/5 is going to exist. So I would go, that's going to be somewhere here. So my domain is from here, 0 to 4/5. So everything to the right of that just goes away. So let's just get rid of all of this. All of this goes away. It all goes away. Perfect. And let me just delete that like this. Perfect. And I can get rid of this 5/6. Ooh, got too much there. Perfect. Now, what is going to be my absolute maximum here? Well, quite clearly, this is my new maximum. It's my new absolute maximum. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Because this is increasing and I've just gone to the left of it a bit, you can clearly see this is my maximum. And this is the beautiful thing about graphing it. You can just immediately identify what it is going to be. So what do we have to find now? We have to find the absolute value of v. So we need to find what the v value is for this point right here. So what is this going to be? And we need to find the value of x for which this occurs. Well, we already know what the value of x is going to be. It's going to be 4/5. It's going to be 4/5. So we're going to have to find out what the v value, which corresponds to that. So if you wanted to, we could just write out what we know, that x equals 4/5 is where the absolute maximum occurs, is where absolute max occurs. But now we need to find, max occurs, we need to find what my v value is. What's the absolute value of v? To do that, what we do is we take 4/5 and we sub it into our formula here. So let's do that. So I'm going to get v 4/5, and that's going to be equal to 15 4/5 squared minus 12 4/5 cubed. Let's now zoom in and do some math. So, you know, in an ideal world, you'd get your calculator for such a problem, but let's just imagine we don't. So the way we would go about this is as follows. I would first square this, so square the top and the bottom. So it's going to be 4 squared over 5 squared, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is instead of cubing both of these, I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to write 4/5 multiplied by 4 squared over 5 squared, just like that. The reason why I'm doing that will become clear very soon. So now I'm going to keep on going. So this stays the same over here. It stays as 4 squared over 5 squared. So I'm just copying that out. But now, because multiplication is commutative, what I can do is I can say, well, you know what? I'm going to go 12 times 4 over 5, and then I'm going to leave this by itself over here. The reason why is now I have 4 squared over 5 squared, and over here I have 4 squared over 5 squared. So it's like they're common terms. So this is the same as this. And that's going to make my subtraction a lot easier, as we soon will see. So now, let's clean this up a little bit. I'm going to get 15, and can I cheat here a bit? Let's do a bit of cheating. I'm going to come here and just copy this down. That's going to stay the same. And then over here, what I'm going to get is 12 times 4 is 48 over 5. And then I'm going to end up with my common thing over here as well. It's going to be that. I bring that down. That's going to go there. Now when I do my subtraction, I just have to subtract the coefficients more or less. So it's going to be 15 minus 48 over 5. And then I get to keep this thing right here. So pretend what I've highlighted in blue there is like a pronumeral, and that's basically what we're doing. So once we're here, what we can do now, let me control and see that again. I'm bringing that down again. I'm going to give these common denominators. So I'm going to turn this 15. I'm going to times that 15 by 5, and 15 times 5 is 75. So I'm going to get 75 over 5. And then what I can do is go, all right, what is 75 minus 48? Well, that is going to be 27 over 5. And then I will finally go, this is going to be 16 on 25. Perfect. Now I need to do some tidy up here. I'm spilling over to the next section. Let's move this down a bit. Let's come back over here. All right. 27 by 16 is going to be 432. And 5 by 25 is going to be 125. And this is centimeters cubed. So this is my absolute volume. So the absolute maximum volume. So I could come up here and I could put that into this spot right here. This is going to be 432,125. Close that off just like that. So hopefully we've done all our calculations correctly. Let me just quickly double check this, that I've done this all correctly. Yep, that looks good. All right. So we have now answered that. We figured out both the absolute maximum value of v and the value of x for which this occurs. Let's now move on to D. D is asking us, again, a very, very similar question, but this time we have a different domain again. So now our domain is what? It is between 0 and 1, but we're still finding the absolute maximum value of v. So let me come up here and let me steal this one this time. So I'm going to steal this. There we go. Bring that down to over here. Perfect. This one's not going to take us that long. It'll take us 30 seconds at tops. So hang in there. I know I am. So here we are. Where is 1 going to be? Well, I know that 5 over 4 is 1.25. So 1 will be like somewhere here, won't it? 1 will be there. So if I was to get rid of everything here, all this will go away. All this will go away. Let me get rid of that. My 1, oh, this doesn't want to go away for me. Come on, go away. There we go. I've got my 1 here. That's going to go over there. Let me also just get rid of this arrow here, which I don't know why that's there. So this point right here is going to be my new domain. As you can see, from 0 to 1. Well, what's my absolute maximum value here? My absolute maximum value is still my stationary point. It's still this point right here. So for this right here, you could still say that v of 5 over 6, which is equal to 125 over 36 centimeters cubed, is still the max. Because we're not cutting it off past the turning point here, nothing really changes. So this one's really easy. I think that's all the working you'd need to show for it. I don't think you need to show anything more for it. And right now I'm looking at the work solutions that Cambridge provides, and they're not really providing any more. They don't even show a graph. I think this is more information that they're giving. So as long as you can understand visually what's going on here, I think this working would suffice. Let me just highlight that. And then after that, let's just take a victory lap through this answer. So there is E, there is D, there is C, there is B, there is A, there is the very beginning of it. It's been quite a journey through question 13 of 18E, but we've finally come to the end of it. Hopefully these videos have been helpful to you. If you got any questions, feel free. Make sure you come and chase me up so we can go through it together.